I think a lot of people don't get into the podcast space because they don't really understand it. They don't really understand the opportunity in that space. I look at the podcast space as being almost the exact same as the traditional linear television space. And that is because it is a business that's driven by advertising, and it's a business that's driven by the prospect of syndicating the show and making money off of it. So by way of example, in the television business, you have studios and you have networks. The studio owns the content and produces the content, but studios don't put content on television, networks do. So how does the network get the content? The network is only going to get the content if they can get a license from the studio. That license is somewhere between 40 and 60%. So here's how it works. If you have a television sitcom that costs $2 million, the studio underwrites that cost. But if the network wants to show it on TV, they're probably paying $1 million of that $2 million in the form of a licensing fee. Why would the network do that? Because if they're going to spend $1 million an episode so that they can show the sitcom on television, it means that they're making more than $1 million an episode in advertising revenue, right? So the commercials that you see, the amount of money that they receive from those commercials exceeds the $1 million. So that's the network side. The television side, the studio's saying, well, I'm running deficits of $1 million an episode, right? Times maybe 21 episodes, so 21 million. Why would they do that? They would do it if and only if they believe that they can syndicate the show, meaning that they can license the show to another network after the exclusivity with the first network is gone. The moment they don't believe in their ability to syndicate the show, show's gone. The podcast business is the same. I'm going to underwrite the cost of doing this podcast so long as the money that I'm getting in licensing fees is covering that cost of production, or I feel like I'll be able to do a secondary licensing deal. They're the exact same in terms of the model. But I think a lot of people don't understand it, and they don't understand the opportunity, and so they don't get into that space.